It was 4 in the morning back at Wendy's house, and everything is quiet. Dipper's eyes slowly start to open, and he is feeling a little disoriented. Once he regains his equilibrium, he slowly rises up and looks over his shoulder to see Wendy lying beside him. A bit thrown off by the sight, he lifts the covers and finds that his pants and shirt are missing. Dipper then starts to put the pieces together and is horrified. He jumps out of bed, throws on his pants, shirt, and storms out of Wendy's house. The walk back home takes a good 30 minutes. Once Dipper gets back, he carefully opens the door and sneaks inside, quietly closing the door behind him. Dipper sighs in relief, thinking that he got home scot-free. As he turns around, his eyes meet a displeased Bill Cipher standing in front of him. This spooks him a bit. "Oh, geez, Bill, you scared me," Dipper quietly says as he takes a breath. Bill didn't seem to be in a good mood. "Pinetree, why did you do that?" Bill mutters. Dipper was confused by Bill's question. "Excuse me?" Dipper raises an eyebrow. Bill's body was slightly shaking, and Dipper could sense that Bill was angry. "I saw you with her," Bill growled as his eyes turned red. Dipper was confused at first, but then he started to realize that Bill actually witnessed the whole thing with Wendy. "How? You spied on me with your magic, didn't you?" Dipper couldn't decide whether to be angry or embarrassed. "My body was feeling weird, so I needed to find out what was going on. But when I saw the cause of it, something even stranger started to happen inside me." "But still, you shouldn't spy on— Ugh!" Dipper was cut off when Bill grabs him by the collar of his shirt and pins him against the wall. Dipper was now super confused. "Look at me! These feelings have not stopped ever since it happened. I have felt nothing but pain, and normally pain is funny to me, but this time it isn't!" Dipper realized that there were tears streaming down Bill's face. Dipper was stunned by Bill's sudden display of emotion. It made him feel sympathetic for the demon. "Bill?" Dipper muttered. Suddenly, Bill locked eyes with Dipper. The urge to kiss Dipper was happening again, and Bill began to slowly lean in for a kiss. Remembering their prior conversation about Dipper's feelings concerning their first kiss, Bill stops an inch away from Dipper's lips and pulls back. Dipper's face was red. He couldn't believe Bill was about to kiss him again. Bill let go of Dipper's shirt and looked at him with bitterness. "From now on, all my time will be spent on getting rid of this spell. I will remain in the spare room. I only have one rule. Don't ever come in. I want to be left alone!" Bill shouts as he storms away. Dipper, still in shock from the almost kiss, however, did not try to stop him. He simply let Bill walk away, bitter and angry. Dipper looked down in despair as he realized that he really hurt Bill. He actually wanted Bill to kiss him that time. The situation had now gotten worse, and the boys both slipped into a state of depression. The hours drifted into days. Every time Dipper walked by that spare room, he wished he could knock on the door and talk to Bill. However, after what happened between them, he felt like it wasn't a good idea and just continued walking. Dipper had told his sister what happened at the party and the confrontation with Bill. She couldn't believe it and tried to get Bill out of the room, but she couldn't. Bill just flat out ignored anyone who was on the other side of the door. At this point, even Mabel was getting upset. Most of all, she was worried. She had never seen Dipper this depressed before in her life. The shack was now quiet and dreadful. On the 4th day after the incident between him and Bill, Dipper is sitting on the roof when he gets a call from Wendy. At first, he didn't want to answer, but since she had been texting like crazy, he was curious as to what she wanted to say. "Hello?" Dipper said in a low voice. "Hey, Dipper, I've been texting you and you haven't been responding. Everything okay?" Wendy seemed to have forgotten what happened on the night of the party. She thought everything was fine, and this seemed to have angered Dipper a little. "Wendy,
Do you even remember what happened between you and me at the party?
Dipper asks. Wendy thinks for a moment. Sorry, dude. I don't. I was so crazy drunk that suddenly Dipper got impatient and just blurts out.
We had sex, Wendy.
The lumberjack was completely dumbfounded. Then she thinks back and finally remembers. She gasps in horror, realizing her mistake. Oh my god. Dipper, I'm so sorry, Wendy muttered.
Wendy, it's okay, honestly. You were just really drunk and I should have been more assertive with you,
Dipper says in a consoling voice. Looking back, I remembered that you looked like you didn't want it, Wendy admits to him.
You want the truth?
Yes, Wendy wondered. Dipper took a deep breath.
I'm in love with someone else,
Dipper confessed. Wendy was silent for a moment, unsure of what to say. Dude, again, I'm so sorry. I wish I could take it all back, Wendy said, sounding down.
Me too. He knows what happened and he didn't take it very well.
He? Sorry, that sounded rude, she apologized.
It's fine,
Dipper muttered. Have you told him how you feel? Wendy wondered. Dipper groaned as he rubbed his face to keep himself awake.
Ugh, no. He refuses to see anyone right now. He is that angry,
Dipper said, explaining. Well, if you really love him, he needs to know. If he is that angry about what happened between us, then he must love you too. The moment Wendy said that phrase, it suddenly hit Dipper. The kiss, the awkward moments, Bill's warning, and Bill's emotional breakdown. It all made sense now. Wendy was right. Dipper needed to tell Bill how he feels in order to get Bill to understand his own feelings too.
You're right. I have to go, Wendy. I need to talk to him,
Dipper says, hanging up the phone and rushing inside. Dipper storms down the hallway, reaches the door, and starts pounding on it.
Bill, open up! We need to talk,
Dipper yelled. It was quiet, but eventually Bill answered. I thought I told you to stay away from me.
Fine. If you won't open the door, then I will break it down.
Dipper starts slamming his body onto the door. Cracking sounds can be heard, and eventually Dipper breaks the door down. The room was dark and had an aura of despair surrounding it. However, it didn't faze Dipper, who simply rushed over to Bill and hugged him from behind. Bill was shocked by this sudden action. What are you doing? Bill stuttered as Dipper just hugged him tightly.
Bill, I love you.
Bill's eyes widened and his jaw slightly dropped from the shock of the confession. What? Bill stuttered again.
You may not know what love is, so I will explain it to you. You feel happy around the person that you love. You care for them if they get sick or hurt. You get angry when they are with someone else. But most of all, you feel an urge to...
Suddenly, Dipper was cut off when Bill whipped his head around and gave Dipper a kiss on the lips. It shocked Dipper at first, but eventually he sank right into Bill's kiss. Pinetree, you're right. I don't know what love is, but I'm glad you could tell me. Everything you said is how I was feeling, so I thank you. Bill smiles at him. Dipper's face is completely red, but he smiles back at Bill.
You're welcome,
Dipper mutters. I guess now I can say with full certainty that I love you, Pinetree. As Bill and Dipper share another kiss, the pair suddenly start to glow and a huge flash of white light appears. Dipper and Bill end their kiss, realizing that their tattoos are now gone and Bill's powers have fully returned.
Bill, the spell is broken!
Dipper smiles brightly. Bill begins to levitate off the floor, sitting crisscross. He snaps his fingers and levitates Dipper onto his lap. Indeed, Pinetree. Now that my powers are back, let's say we have a little fun. Bill smirks as he starts to lightly sweep his fingers up Dipper's legs.
Well then, what are we waiting for?
Dipper smirks back at Bill. Snapping his fingers, Bill shuts the door and, well, you can imagine the rest. Turns out all that these two needed was some love. As cheesy as it is, true love always breaks the spell. And they lived happily ever after. Gotta make it even more cheesy, right? Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the finale of BillDip, The Bond of the Pinetree, and the rest of its saga. I want to give a huge thank you to all of you for sharing your love and support for the series. Without you guys, I wouldn't have been able to have the motivation to continue and strive to improve the quality of the story. Thank you once again. Now, you're all probably wondering, what do I plan on doing next? Well, the answer will come in the next video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more upcoming stories and videos. Feel free to check out my Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr pages to get updates, polls, pictures, and any other things I can think of. Follow me on any social media platform, and I will follow you right back as a thanks. Want to check out my other stories? The links to my DeviantArt, Wattpad, and AO3 are all down below. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time!